Good morning on the West Coast. Good afternoon everywhere else. This is New Tapes. We are having a new moon in Aquarius next week on Thursday. I know what time it is. And so I'm excited to bring you this month's hypnosis practice to get us set up for what we'd like to make of that new moon. So I'm going to go ahead and pin my Venmo in case anyone feels called to donate today. Anything is appreciated. And giving everyone a few moments to arrive here today and get settled. I apologize for being late. In classic Mercury retrograde fashion, my Spotify didn't want to play these lovely bells today, so that's fantastic. And, here we are. So, okay. Good morning, good afternoon, hello everyone. Welcome, get settled, get yourself set up. I'm going to spend a moment just sort of making this a little more magical. If y'all would like to join me, got my candles. Oh, my light doesn't like working. All right, Mercury, you're cute. You're cute. Okay. All right, I see you. All right. Yeah. Okay. How are y'all doing? Like, what is everyone feeling with this very hyper Aquarian season? Our first Mercury retrograde of the year, and my light doesn't want to work, y'all. All right, it's fine. It's fine. It's totally cool. This is how I'm doing. I'm just fighting technology. If y'all are feeling a great breeze of change in the air. Yes, you are cute, and Mercury in retrograde as a planet is also being cute. So, it's fine. Shut up, that's a tiny bit, clearly. Alright, so Mercury retrograde is being adorable. This Aquarius season is rife with all this energy for change, all this lead up to the Saturn-Uranus squares we're going to be having very soon. Easily agitated. That's real. I'm feeling it. I feel this, yay, change is happening. But, how am I going to get there? And I hate change, and I don't want to go there. And if anyone is feeling like they're excited but, dragging their feet, irritated, agitated, it's very real. It's very, very real. We are coming up on so many squares. The first Saturn-Uranus square is happening just a few days after this new moon in Aquarius. So we're definitely feeling that tension, that pressure, that, I don't know, it's a lot because it is exciting. Thank God we're changing. Thank goodness, thank Goddess, thank all of the entities, thank universe that, we are changing, things are shifting, we need to be here, but we're also human, and it's just so, please, no, don't make me go, don't make me do it. I just want to be there, and I don't really want to do this part, which is the actual changing part. So, if anyone else is feeling that, please know that you're not alone at all. That's so real, and we got this. All right, so there's a good amount of us here. We could probably get started. Just for anyone who hasn't been here before, this is New Tapes. Every Saturday before the upcoming new moon, I sit here on Instagram and I talk about some of the astrology occurring at the new moon, and there's so much to talk about. And we kind of go through some journaling or worksheeting together. This is a handy dandy worksheet that I've made for this practice. It is on my website. If I just saw a meme that was like, don't send millennials things to print because no one has a printer, and that's so real, so I apologize. But if you have like a tablet or something that you can like draw on a PDF, this is also applicable for that. So that is free on my website. So we talk about the astrology, we kind of make notes about things that are standing out to us, things that feel relevant, things that are coming up for us that we'd like to work through. And once we've filled out our little journaling worksheet stuff, activate my Virgo, we go into some trance. So it's very gentle, a quick reminder / disclaimer that hypnosis is always done with yourself. I'm not going into your mind. You are steering the ship. I'm just sort of prompting you with different things that your mind may want to show you, and then you have all the control. So I call this kind of being a tour guide. So I will tour guide us through some gentle hypnosis, some visualizations, some breathing together, all this nice stuff, just to get us really clear in terms of what it is we're trying to change, especially since we're feeling this tension right now, especially since change is upon us in this moment. So we're gonna do that. Yay! All right, and the chat is open. Please chime in with things that resonate, things that are unclear, any questions, any thoughts about the astrology, any questions about hypnosis. I'm here to engage with you, and this is teamwork. So the floor is yours, and I encourage anyone who feels inclined to chat or to ask or to anything to do so. So cool. All right, so we already talked about a little bit this upcoming Saturn-Uranus square. It's going to be the first of 3 that we have this year, and that's really like the signature transit of the year. Everything else happening is sort of in response to or working with or around these squares. So Saturn-Uranus squares bring us a lot of activity, a lot of change, a lot of uprisings. So clearly 2020 was already a very solid lead up to this time. And so, yes, let's talk about this tension that we just acknowledged. It's real. We're going to be kind of riding it all year, and it really starts now. So what's being activated for us is certainly going to be on the table for us throughout the year. Last new moon, we had sort of an intro to this energy. We had Mars move into Taurus to join Uranus, and we had Mercury joining Jupiter and Saturn in Aquarius, and so we started to feel some of those squares start. Now, Venus is in the mix. The sun has moved into Aquarius, and of course the moon will be new in Aquarius as well. So that puts 6 personal visible planets in Aquarius for us, which is a lot. You may have been seeing the meme going around saying this hasn't happened since the Middle Ages. They're the Dark Ages. This is not quite true. Rick Levine just showed us that this actually happened in 1962. We had 7 planets in Aquarius, so that's very exciting to think that this is like a rare occurrence, but we've had a little bit of this before. The difference was that Mars was also in Aquarius, and this time Mars is squaring from Taurus, so certainly some deeper changes afoot. We also have Lilith hanging out in Aquarius, in Taurus with Mars and Uranus, which we talked a little bit last month with the new moon. Lilith kind of making her way into this little Mars-Uranus sandwich now, and really asking us to focus on where shame continues to be part of our narrative, where shame continues to interfere with what sort of resources we feel entitled to or feel that we have access to, what sort of values we have that may not align with larger social values. That's especially true since Mars is in its detriment alongside Lilith and Taurus, and that's definitely bringing up a lot of, what if I'm not able to do that? Or what if I don't enjoy doing that? What if I move at this pace? What if I'm not out here just flying with everyone else, or seemingly living in this very easy way? What if that's just not me? And I think that is probably really true for so many of us in this moment, especially with our outer world shutting down in many ways, really having that time and space to recognize where we've been forcing ourselves into a box to fit into the rest of the world in ways that we're really tired of, or are not feeling good anymore, and maybe never did feel good, which is totally really valid. And that's a big part of these squares too. Where have we not really been able to tune into ourselves and to live in a way that feels authentic to who we actually are, not who we've been taught we're supposed to be or aspire to, or compete to become? Like, who are we actually, and where has that not been accessible to us before? So all of these planets in Aquarius, all of these planets in Taurus, all coming to a head, and again leading us up to the Saturn-Uranus square, which happens on the 17th, so less than a week than this new moon. And that's really us learning about how change occurs individually, collectively, systematically, sort of in these layers. Saturn is the traditional ruler of Aquarius. Uranus is the modern ruler of Aquarius. What are these two planets fighting about? It's, what is the new way of being? What is going to help the people? What are our values? What old systems need to leave to make space for new systems? What older systems than the system we have need to be revisited and reintegrated? What from there do we need to pull into our modern life? So there is very much this sort of old school, new school way of being in the world that is coming to sort of this pressure point. New beginnings. Here we are. We wanted it. We're here. We got here. Now what? How do we get there? So it's, we're never really working with a clean slate 100%, but this is kind of it. Like, this is the moment to really try to believe that this is a clean slate, even if it's never 100% clean. What if we believe that right now what we set into motion can do something really powerful? It's crazy to think about, but here we are. So let's revisit some themes of Aquarius, and if anyone else has any Aquarian themes they'd like to throw in here, I'd love to hear them. So with Aquarius, we're thinking about our friend groups and our communities. We're thinking about humanity and humanitarian causes. Individuality as a vessel for human rights. So I love the Leo-Aquarius axis of, we are all a bright light, we all deserve to shine. When I get to shine, I allow you to shine. How do we make this space for each other? Invention and technology, especially with Uranus and being the modern ruler, it's sort of technological insights and how they can help us continue to evolve as a people. Intellectualism along with idealism, knowledge as power and empowerment, and future and growth. So definitely makes sense that Saturn and Aquarius is trying to pull us into a future, and Uranus and Taurus is like, do we even have a future? We need to scale back. We need to really balance this out. Squares, y'all. Balance. So wherever Aquarius is in your chart is where big changes are obviously taking place. Commitments are being asked of us. All right? This is it again. My ultimate Aquarius movie is Xenon Girl. How do you say? Zoom, zoom, zoom. Make my heart go boom, boom. My supernova girl. Yes. Let's all watch Xenon later. Can we do that? So, this lunation may be inviting you to look at issues that you've either known about consciously or unconsciously, or are just sort of coming to terms with. Like, oh, that's real. So we're getting in touch with what is really happening and getting real about what it would actually take to make these changes that I think all of us feel some change calling us. So how do we get in touch with what it is that we really want and really need in order to make crossing this bridge like easier for us, right? Saturn in Aquarius from a lot of y'all are going through your Saturn returns right now too. And I love that y'all have Jupiter alongside for the beginning of it. I think that really kind of boosts the whole, the potential of it, the potential of the changes that you're going through and the activations that are happening for you, and then bringing them out into the world in a positive sense. But I'm also just like such a Pisces, so I'm just seeing all of the good. I can't help it. So Aquarius is the water bearer, which is what leads some to believe that it's a water sign when it's actually an air sign. And it's important to remember this as we're rebuilding what this is all about for us. So what is carrying water? What is being a vessel that carries compassion? How do we enable others to experience connection by carrying something? And this sign carries spiritual nourishment to all people and believes in the equal distribution of resources and freedom for all. This sign possesses a vision of a future that allows all to thrive in cooperation. How do we get there? It's now. Okay. So, important to this new moon is that the squares we are building up to are between the traditional and modern rulers, as we touched upon. And so, of course, we're looking at tradition, structure, limits, and boundaries with Saturn, whereas Uranus is looking at kind of the opposite. What do we need to tear down? Shattering structures, pushing boundaries, progressing out of old traditions, and asking us to think about what new traditions can look like. Testing limits. So Saturn has the upper hand, indicative of the resistance of our current systems to the extreme structural changes we are calling for. But that doesn't mean that these pushes for justice will fall on deaf ears. Rather, we are called on to identify what we can work on in the short term that can help us build up to these larger changes as they occur over time. No Aquarius in your chart. Maybe that's why I just feel generally chaotic. That's funny. Well, okay, so that's a fun point too, because everyone does have a house that is made up of Aquarius, even if there aren't any planets there. And so it's times like these where if you don't have any planets in that house, but all of these planets are suddenly in that house, that may be like a significant awakening for you, or like a significant trigger point. For me, for example, I have no planets in Aquarius. I have Juno, the asteroid there. And it's my second house. And so right now it's really like, oh, I haven't really tuned into second house things before, or I've always sort of wondered about how do I solidify like financial stability for myself. I don't know how we do that in this world. But with all these planets there, suddenly I'm really thinking about it a lot, and I'm able to take actions that have never occurred to me before, or that seemed really obvious for other people, but that I never felt like I could really tune into very much. Yeah, so it could be this period of like, wow, this has really been kind of out of reach for me, or has never really come to the surface for me in this way, and suddenly there's a lot of activity in this house that I need to pay attention to, that I might want to tune into, and that I can probably like kind of take hold of and like grab and really work with your South Node in the 6th house. Okay, yeah, so that's a lot of reworking too. I bet that's a lot about like, I bet that's probably trying to activate your North Node and like, okay, so what habits here in the 6th house are we really done with? Like, we need to let go of. Or also too, it could be like, what strengths can I grab from this house, but kind of cut out the rest so that I can really focus on where I'm trying to go. So a lot of this tension is immediately felt kind of before and after the new moon. We've got all these squares to Mars happening. Everything from Aquarius that's moving through is just going bing, bing, bing. So Venus is going to square Mars the day after the new moon. So there's a lot of, someone said something about being agitated earlier. Absolutely. There's so much frustration, especially in the face of pursuing what we're after. I feel like with 2021, we may have a clearer idea, especially after the end of last year, just like, okay, that was a mess, but here's where I need to go. And we're just like, oh God, obstacle, tired, exhaustion, money, world. I can't. Everything is squaring Mars, which is already in its detriment. So it's just like, how am I supposed to? And once more about Lilith, calling up our shame around pleasure, resources, nourishment. And Mars has just met with Lilith, so that may be especially true for us and maybe a little sore for us in the past week or so. Bringing up maybe like assertive or aggressive actions taken toward a deeper understanding and potentially resolving this shame. So we may be wanting to act on that. Is there anyone that wouldn't really be affected this retrograde? No, probably not, because there's so many personal planets in Aquarius. Like, it's just, we're all feeling it. It's everywhere. It's just like, okay, all right, Sun, Venus, okay, cool, great, Saturn, Jupiter, all right, everyone's in here. It's a party. So probably not. Some may be able to use it more proactively than others, especially if you have a natal Mercury retrograde, or if you've been through enough of them that you're like, okay, I know what's coming, and I'm just gonna prepare myself. I'm just gonna put these things into action. And so, okay, Mars and Taurus getting squared by everyone. Everything in Aquarius may be showing us where this shame runs deeper than we know, or informing us that this work will require repeated efforts in order to make the peace with it that we desire. And that's probably very true with the Saturn-Uranus squares throughout the year. We're going to have a lot of adjustments to make. We're going to have we're going to need to do practice. We're going to need to practice these things that we're trying to change. We're not going to see them work out the way we want the first time. And that is... Usually there's a like reality check squares. It's like, okay, yeah, okay, totally, yes. All right, fellow Cap rising, I believe. Yeah. So your second house getting activated, and like, oh, maybe I've never really had a solid grasp on these things, but suddenly I'm being asked to like pay attention. Do it. Pay attention. Oh, okay, so the other inner planets have also already squared Uranus, which is also adding to the frustration. Mars and Uranus in the same sign, just really, really just bringing on the agitation. By the time we reach the new moon on Thursday, we'll have felt lots of interruptions to our regular lives that hope to inform us on a conscious level where we might feel the urge to change directions. So if we're resisting these changes in any way, which I know I am, I'm sure many of us feel a childlike stubbornness coming through right now. We are being asked to change directions, and we're being asked to kind of be compassionate with that. So this may have surfaced as irritations, upsets, slip-ups, accidents, other instances of disruption. It's important to look at what's being brought to your attention beyond this irritation. What lies beneath the irritation? Ooh, Taurus and Leo moon and Cap rising. Okay, so you had a fun Leo full moon last week, huh? So, I mentioned that Venus is going to square Mars the day after the new moon, but on the day of the new moon, we have Venus and Jupiter hanging out, which is so cute. So, this is going to be a big part of our trance today, sort of thinking about what sort of, again, in the beginning I said that we don't really have a clean slate. That's, I guess, never real, but if we're ever going to have anything close to it, it could be this moment, it could be putting something into effect right now and needing to believe in it. So Venus meeting Jupiter is really this activation that we want. It's this meet cute that's like, yay, we can do it. It's hard sometimes, but we have friends and we're on a team, we're doing this together. So we're activating our powers of belief and inspired wishing. On the note of wishing, my hypnosis teacher, Shauna Cummins, The Wishcraft, just released a book on wishing, and I think it's really great. And I certainly have issues with my ability to wish. I gave up on wishing as a young person. I could probably tell you the story of exactly when that moment happened. Looking back, it's so juvenile, but it was so impactful to me. So I think many of us probably feel that in some capacity. What I'm wishing for can't happen. It's not realistic. There's no place for it in this world, and we're sort of being asked to revisit those thoughts, that narrative, and say, who told me that wasn't possible? Or what were the circumstances here that wasn't okay? And how can I kind of forgive that and move back into a space of feeling like I can make wishes again? So we are being encouraged by Venus and Jupiter to take a chance on what scares us the most and to choose to believe that what we put our hearts into now with integrity and honesty has the power to work out in ways that we may not be able to even see at the moment. And of course not, because again, all these squares, everything's about to change in ways that we don't know. So Mercury is also going to mingle with these two over the weekend after the new moon. So Mercury will hang out with Venus, I believe, on Saturday, and then with Jupiter on Sunday, and that's also helping us activate these wishes, even though Mercury's retrograde, and that's sort of adding that layer of, when did I stop thinking that things were possible? Or, let me revisit some of those ideas that I was shamed out of. Lilith, always Lilith. Lilith lingering, just laughing. With joy, not at us. Well, it's not laughing at us. So, we're activating wishes in our day-to-day lives with Mercury, and also our thinking processes. So, we have talked about all the astrology about the new moon. And so, I'd love anyone to, y'all have been chatting with me, so that's really fun, thank you. But if anyone has any questions about the astrology, if anyone wants to kind of revisit the themes of Aquarius, I think that this could be a nice time to begin filling out this handy dandy worksheet. All right. So with that, we can start. Well, we'll start our worksheet. Let's do it. Start our worksheet. So keywords from Aquarius season, or anything that we just discussed, all of this tension, this irritation, these changes that we're going through, wishing, which is really important. We can start applying some of these things to our word bank and just sort of figuring out like what is really standing out to us right now. What from here is really relevant to you? What keywords really stood out to you? And we're going to let that start shaping the rest of our worksheet. So, if you have your keywords, if you'd like me to go over the Aquarius sort of keywords again, we can absolutely do that. I'll just read through it again. Friend groups and community, humanity and humanitarian causes, individuality as a vessel for human rights, invention and technology, intellectualism and idealism, knowledge as power and empowerment, future and growth. Okay, cool. So, if you have the worksheet, we're going to start with our change box. If not, go ahead and just start making some notes for yourself, whether on paper or in your head or in a voice recorder, whatever you want to do. It's for you. So, from this word bank, just go ahead and spend a moment articulating, in whatever way feels good to you, what you're hoping to change or activate at this new moon. What new cycles are you feeling called to catalyze but feel blocked in accessing? What would you like to become more responsible for that may feel overwhelming or scary? What do you want to feel more engaged with? What falsehoods keep you from claiming that desire? And what respectful relationships would you like to foster? Love to hear more about how to process where Aquarius is in our chart. Sure. So, okay. So what I said before was about sort of wherever Aquarius is in your chart is where big changes and commitments are being asked of you. So Jupiter being there with Saturn is this beautiful blessing, because wherever Saturn, you're truly talking right to my 12th house Aquarius that's been getting all this action. Yay! I'm so glad. That makes me so happy. Yay! All 12th house people are always welcome here, because that's where my Lord Master Saturn lives. So it's really sort of this blessing. Saturn, wherever Saturn enters, says, this wasn't done right. This wasn't done right, and we need to do it again. And it's hard. And that's why Saturn spends 2 to 3 years somewhere, because it's really this sort of tough love mentorship program. What's really nice about Jupiter being present for Saturn's entrance into Aquarius is that it's sort of this contradictory energy of anything can happen in this space. So anywhere Aquarius is in your chart is being, one, sort of like groomed and cleaned up and straightened out by Saturn. Two, being amplified and blessed and sort of encouraged by Jupiter. And then with all of the other inner planets moving through, is sort of asking us to recognize that this is a big shift in energy. Vanessa and I have talked a lot on Astro Squad about whether or not we're in the Aquarian age now, and there's arguments on both sides. But it certainly seems at least true. I think we can all agree that this is a new time. We are entering a new time. We're being catalyzed. So, knowing that this is your second house, Jill, I would certainly say moving forward, it's probably good to think about how can I take more responsibility in this space in my personal finances. So in anyone's Aquarian house, thinking, where can I take more responsibility where I haven't before? That's Saturn. Like, what foundations do I need here that I haven't had previously that it's really important for me to get serious about and to invest into? With Jupiter, sort of what opportunities are arising here that I should jump on now? I'm really thinking of it as like Jupiter and Saturn. It's like Saturn on his own is like, this is going to be tough. And Jupiter is kind of like, look, I'm here for the year, so I'm going to help you ease into this. Like, I'm going to make this not so hard for a second. But then once Jupiter leaves at the end of the year, Saturn's going to be there on their own. So it's, again, adding to that sort of wishing part of this, or at least tuning into what have I thought wasn't possible that might be possible right now. So wherever Aquarius is, there's definitely there's something here that we need to take seriously. There's something here that we need to invest in. But also there's something that we need to be optimistic about that we have maybe told ourselves we shouldn't be, or we've been conditioned to believe can't happen here. Venus moving through right now is also overseeing sort of like, oh, and like, what connections can I make with other people about what this topic is for me? So whatever house this is in your chart, Venus coming through is sort of like, I can connect with other people about this and start maybe tuning into those Jupiter opportunities. And that may be especially true at the new moon with Venus and Jupiter meeting. So there's definitely a call to look at this space. Where is this in my chart? What have I not taken responsibility for before? Or what have I felt was really difficult for me to do here that I'm being invited to reapproach and rethink about, that I will have a better, I would say, I guess I want to say better luck, but it's not really luck. It's like harder and luck, or it's like luck from hard work. Are those words? Yes. Those are words. So what subconsciously has kept me from developing this space before? What foundations are in here that don't feel good anymore? What things have I built into this house that keep me from moving forward that I'd like to tear down? Okay, cool. Yay, transitioning. Yeah, that's your house of skills. That's your financial foundation. That second house is like, can I be good at this? Am I allowed to think that I'm good at this? Will other people take this skill seriously? Do I take it seriously? I think there's so much about like, do I let myself take this seriously enough to invest in it myself and to allow other people to invest in it with me? Yeah. Yes. Absolutely. All right. So I hope that helps y'all fill out your change box or think about what you'd like to change, because I do think that the typically morose lessons of Saturn are definitely being bolstered and made more accessible and optimistic with Jupiter, and just sort of like, we can do it. It's okay. And again, like, take this now, because Jupiter will leave and enter Pisces in December, and then we'll just have Saturn. So it's sort of this like, your cheerleader's with you for this first part, and then the second lap, you're on your own. So let's make this one count. Let's really believe we could do it before Saturn crushes our souls. Okay. No, I love Saturn. I have this really cool cast iron skull that I have for Saturn. I just wanted to show you guys. Okay. We can though. Like, we have to believe. Otherwise, what are we doing? Like, if we don't really believe that we can show up as our authentic selves, that there's room for our authentic self, that being our authentic selves can help other people be their authentic selves, then what is happening? Then I don't know what we're doing. All right, cool. So back to our workshop. Also, please feel free. I love answering questions, so please feel free to throw more at me. All right, so we have hopefully filled out our change box. I'll repeat those questions again now that we've gone through sort of what the Aquarian things are asking of us. Where am I in my notes? Okay, what new cycles are you feeling called to catalyze but have felt blocked in accessing previously? What would you like to become more responsible for that feels overwhelming or scary, but is actually good for you? Because that's Saturn too, like, it's good for you. What do you want to feel more engaged with? What falsehoods keep you from claiming that desire? And what respectful relationships would you like to foster? My line to people has been that I feel like this is going to be great, although I have no evidence to support it. Yes! Wow, that's real. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I feel that. It feels extremely real. Okay, so change box. Check. Let's spend a moment designating and describing today's peaceful place. So if you have joined me in this practice today, then you have developed a peaceful place already, I imagine. You can feel free to use that place ongoing, to continue to travel there. You are also invited to come up with a new peaceful place. If you feel like tapping into your imagination or going someplace different today, I totally encourage you to do that. If you are joining me for the first time and this is your first practice, I invite you to think about a place in a natural setting. So let's leave the confines of our rooms, please, because let's get outside. Please get outside in your mind. So a natural setting that helps you relax and rejuvenate. So it can be a real place that you love, a real place that you've never been to, that you've always wanted to go to. It can be a fictional place from a book or a movie. It can be a place that you make up right now in your mind that has everything that you love about nature. Doesn't matter. As long as it's some place that feels really good to you, that you can clearly envision in your mind, and that you feel like visiting right now, then that is perfect. Venus and Aquarius in the 8th house. Is now a good time for romantic love? Oh, I mean, it definitely could be. Yeah, hanging out in the 8th. It seems like you're probably, especially since everything else is in Aquarius, I would say you're probably getting to understand a lot about your love, about what you give to other people. That's like a fun contradictory place for Venus. It's like part Scorpio, part Aquarius, and they're very different. I mean, they're the same, but they're different. Detached, but also merge. How do I do this? Maybe you've been taught lots of things about your love style that people have been like, how could you do that? Or like, why are you like, not why are you like that, but what I mean more is that society likes to make us feel weird about who we are. So I hope that means that in this time you're really getting to understand where you are uniquely you and how your unique love style is perfect for who you are, and that you can sort of rebuild from a place of knowing I know myself better than anyone else, and who I am and how I love in this space and what I want to offer people in the way that I do is my right. And Saturn's in there kind of like, okay, we got this. We're gonna do this on our own here. So everyone else can go away. Stop telling me who I am. And this is my house. Venus and Scorpio. My partner has a Venus and Scorpio. I love me some Scorpios. All my Pisces is like, give me that dark ass shit. Okay, so all right, so peaceful place. I hope that y'all have an idea of where you'd like to hang out today. This is where we're going to be traveling first in our trance, so please make it as beautiful and as peaceful and restorative as you like, because this is really all for you, okay? I just want you to be able to connect with nature while we're in trance, because it's where we start. It's the place to start. All right, so lastly, if you're working on the worksheet, we are going to move into our payoff box. If you're writing down on a piece of paper, we're going to create a new column here. We're going to look ahead at what we may gain access to by doing this work. So we're thinking about how we wish and where we have limited our wishing and where we have told ourselves that we can't wish anymore. We are looking at where we are individuals and where that has been stifled and where we have separated from ourselves like Horcruxes. How can we reintegrate these pieces of ourselves? So in our payoff box, we're looking ahead and we're saying, what if I get there? What if I do this now? What if I engage in this practice and then I end up where I want to be? What a crazy idea. Spend a moment writing down for yourself or articulating for yourself in this payoff box or on this paper or out loud or in your head with some positive potential outcomes that could arise from moving through this current shift, by stepping up to these changes, by looking past the irritations and seeing what's really being brought to your attention. What could arise out of taking on the challenging work of confronting our blockages? Consider what you could gain in the short term as well as in the longer term. So think about now, think about the next couple of months, think about these upcoming weeks, and also think ahead to let's think about the square in the summer. Who we're going to be by summer, and when Jupiter leaves at the end of the year, leaves Aquarius and enters Pisces, what kind of changes could we have put into place by then? So let's look at short term, long term. Look at 2022. Whew. Who can even imagine what that's going to be like? What could feel more within your control? I like that idea. What could feel more within your control by summer and by the end of the year? So take a moment, write that down. I'm going to drink some water. Everyone drink some water. I'm sipping pretty, is what this cup says. My Libra South Node is pleased. All right. And I invite any last questions before we move into trance. I'm going to give you a final moment to write down anything else that feels, I haven't, but I will. I will do that. That's probably a great idea. I will make sure to post that when I always post this in my feed after it's done, but I will actually thank you for that suggestion. I will do that. Your Jupiter, are you having your Jupiter return right now? That's fun. Your Jupiter is natally in Aquarius in your 12th house. Okay. Oh my gosh. Well, let me go through them one more time. That's totally valid. Okay, so revisiting the worksheet one more time. No, we're good. So, change box. What are you hoping to change or activate at this new moon? What are you feeling, or what are you hoping to change or activate at this new moon? What new cycles are you feeling called to catalyze but have felt blocked in accessing? That one more time. What new cycles are you feeling called to catalyze but feel blocked in accessing? What would you like to become more responsible for that feels overwhelming or scary? One more time. What would you like to become more responsible for that feels overwhelming or scary? What do you want to feel more engaged with? What do you want to feel more engaged with? And what falsehoods keep you from claiming that desire? I know I'm asking some real Passing some real zingers here. What do you want to feel more engaged with, and what falsehoods keep you from claiming that desire? What respectful relationships would you like to foster? Venus rolling up. All right, y'all. Let's do this the right way. What respectful relationships would you like to foster? And for our payoff box, what can we gain access to by doing this work? What may we gain access to by doing this work? What positive potential outcomes could arise out of taking on the challenging work of confronting our blockages? That's a long one, so I'm going to read that one real slow again. What positive potential outcomes could arise out of taking on the challenging work of confronting our blockages? Once more, with feeling. What positive potential outcomes could arise out of taking on the challenging work of confronting our blockages? And then apply this to the short term as well as the long term. What could feel more within your control by summer? Yes, lots of people vaccinated. Yeah, that could certainly be something that helps us feel more in control. So what could feel more within control by summer and by the end of the year? All right. Let me know if you got those, and I will give you one more moment to jot down some answers. Does that sound good? I'm gonna drink some more water. That seems good. I'm gonna light some things. I'm gonna light some candles. Y'all take a moment, get settled. We'll also use this to kind of get set up and get comfortable. So in case you are not already in a comfortable place, I invite you to sit in a nice cozy chair or on a couch. You can use your bed. A lot of my clients are like, can I lay down? Yeah, totally. You can definitely lay down. My goal is for you to be as comfortable as possible without taking a nap. But also, if a nap is what you need right now, then that's for you. Please have it. Please have a nap. You just want to be someplace where you don't have to hold anything so that you can completely relax. I am using, actually, I was gonna light one of my Persephone candles. I'm using the end of my Scorpio new moon candle. I've got my little mini series candle here, and this is sort of my excess candle. So I have a bunch of my ritual candles sort of stacked up down here, and then this fat chunk is some Persephone for me. So I love that you're asking, how's your Persephone candle going? I'm so excited that you're here. Yeah. So I've got Persephone in the house. I've got Ceres. I've got some lavender that I'm gonna burn. Ooh, she crackling. I'm about to go deep. All right, so burn some candles, burn some incense, close your blinds if you want. Get cozy, turn off the lights, grab a blanket. It's kind of what I love about this is that you are cozy and you can grab whatever is comfortable for you. If you have crystals you like to work with, go ahead and grab those. If you have any sort of totems or special anything that you like to meditate with or any other sort of focused work, go ahead and use it. So it makes sense to meditate on these questions more as they apply to the house our Aquarius is in, or keep it open. I think certainly, absolutely. A lot of the changes I'm trying to activate are feeling like I can have financial stability. That is really all I'm focusing on right now in a way that I've never focused on before. It's wild. So if that's energy that you're really tapping into, I say run with it. If you're really feeling the second house stuff as well, and you're feeling called to focus on the ways you're advancing your graphic design skills or the jobs you're taking on or the belief that you can do it, absolutely. I say, you know intuitively what this is calling up for you. Yes, I know, it's wild. It's so wild. It's so fun to share that with someone because I feel kind of like a kid. I'm like, oh my God, I just figured out how to use a financial tracker Excel spreadsheet. Wow, I'm so behind. So please share this part with me because I'm so glad that I'm not alone. But yes, I think thinking about your house, knowing, I feel like with everything in Aquarius already, we're feeling it. Like we're feeling the activation. So I say lean into that. If it feels general, that's fantastic. You know intuitively where this is calling you, and I trust you. I'm wanting to change your housing and financial. Yes, oh my God. I'm like, can I just have this down so that I can move? Like I need an office room. Can I have that, please? So I'm totally with you, and that's really applicable in 2021 in general because we're all trying to figure out we're really being called to take financial responsibility in as much as we can because our world is not doing it for us. Doing a lot of saying no to what I feel is expected of me to make space for what I know is right. Yeah, that's some of that Taurus square coming through. Like, what do you have to do? Like, do you have to do that? Do you have to say yes to that? Do you need to do that? Like, do you? No? Okay. Oh, I'm sorry. All right, yeah, all right, yeah, absolutely. We're all trying to have, I love that we're in this housing tip. Everyone who's trying to have some safe and prosperous housing. Yes, absolutely. Let's all live together. Yes, come to California. Let's go. I'm trying to go to Long Beach. Let's make this happen. We can definitely buy a house. Okay. Y'all feeling ready? Let's do this. I'm going to start my bells over just because we've been chatting a little longer than I thought, which I love. That's not a complaint at all. Just gotta start my bells over. All right, let's do it. Thanks, y'all, for being here. I love this. This is so fun. This is like my dreams coming true. Okay, this is me activating my second house, saying, no, this is something that you enjoy and you feel good at. Let's do it. Let's share it. Yes. All right, so I hope y'all are comfortable. I hope everyone's got water. I hope everyone has their favorite anything that is favorite for you. Please have it. Closing my curtains because I like it. All right, sweet. Let's do it. Okay, so everyone's set up. Everyone's good. When you're ready, let's all do some nice breath work together. So just taking in some nice deep breaths. Can y'all hear the bells? Let me know if you can't hear the bells, because honestly, it's like half of the fun is having nice bells in the background. So taking some nice deep breaths just to get us softened up a little bit, more connected with our bodies, especially with everything in Aquarius. It's very crown chakra, very activated up here mentally, and it's kind of nice. Okay, cool. Thank you, Barbara. How about when I'm talking? Can you hear the bells while I talk? Yeah. Okay. Cool. Okay. If anyone wants to put on bells for themselves, also this is just Javanese dream bells. So, okay. Hopefully that's nice and louder. Okay. Let me know. Does that sound good? Yeah? Okay, great. Perfect. All right. So, back to our nice deep breathing. Kind of releasing all of this Aquarian crown chakra energy. We're all very mentally activated. Just taking this time to settle into our bodies a bit. Just remind our physical selves that we are still attached to them. That we still love them. We are here in our bodies. We need you, bodies. Okay. So, we're taking in some nice deep breaths. Filling up our lungs completely. And then letting that breath out twice as slowly as we took it in. Just really activating the calm centers in our brain, letting our bodies know that we are safe and relaxed, and that we're allowed to relax here right now. Taking in nice cleansing breaths, releasing them twice as slowly. And maybe now we can start sending some of these breaths to specific points in our bodies. So perhaps you can visualize sending breath into your heart space, just activating that for ourselves today. Hello, heart. Especially since we're trying to reactivate some wishing. I think it's important to send a few breaths here and just let our heart space know that we are listening, and that we're working together. And maybe sending some breath to the tips of your fingers, down to the tips of your toes, anywhere in your body that you sense can benefit from a little special attention right now. Just allowing that breath to send that love. If you are Reiki inclined, this can be an opportunity to send breath to each of your chakras, starting with the root, and just moving up through the sacral, into the solar plexus, into the heart, the throat, the third eye, and ending with the crown. Just allowing these energies to activate and to become aligned, to let our bodies know that we're working together right now. That feels good. Now that we're nice and opened up and connected, let's take a moment to choose a focal point from which we will begin our traveling today. So you can use the classic back of the hand. Sometimes I like that. I've got a little Saturn right here I like to stare at. There may be a piece of artwork on the wall across from you, perhaps a plant within your visible vicinity that you'd like to look at. Anything that's able to help you come to a neutral headspace and just support this relaxation right now. If you have a pendulum or you want to use your sort of meditative item, that's perfect for here now too. And just spending a moment letting your eyes come to a complete focus on this point. And as your eyes settle on this point, inviting everything else in the periphery to just fade into the background. Just letting everything else in the room fall out of focus, concentrating only on this point, letting everything else fade into the background. And as the rest of your environment falls away, feel your conscious and unconscious mind begin working together as they guide your focus inward. Focusing on this point and allowing your mind and your body to start pulling you within. And if at any point now or through our trance you feel your mind begin to wander, much like meditation, you can bring yourself back by just focusing on your breathing again. And allowing your focus to continue to deepen as you travel even further inward, just trusting that your mind and your body know exactly how to work together now. And just allowing yourself to relax and to release. And when you feel ready, when you feel relaxed, go ahead and let your eyes gently close. Just take this next moment to do a gentle scan of your body. Just identify where it is that you feel confidence. Where in your body do you experience confidence? When you find this place, spend a minute just experiencing that sensation. Feeling confident. And from that place of confidence, now take a moment to locate where in your body there may be any tension present. Imagine that with each breath out, that tension is able to flow out of you. Maybe you can even feel it draining out of you, starting at the crown of your head, traveling gently down through you, and exiting through the soles of your feet. Maybe you are even able to witness this phenomenon. Maybe you can see this tension as a color, or as several colors, a texture, a substance. Maybe you're able to see this tension as it leaves you with each breath out. And with each breath in, perhaps you can imagine that air is bringing in more peace, more relaxation, bringing in deeper feelings of release to replace all the tension that is leaving your body now. Just spend another moment allowing and maybe witnessing that tension to flow out of you now. And in a moment, I will count down from 5 to 1, and we will travel even more deeply, trusting that our minds and bodies know how to work in perfect harmony now. 5, releasing any lingering tension in your eyes and in your jaw. 4, releasing any lingering tension in your neck and your shoulders. 3, allowing your arms to grow heavy at your sides. 2, just breathing, just relaxing, and just releasing now. And 1, letting go and traveling even more deeply now. And feeling now, or perhaps even visualizing, a divine light begin to spill over you. A beautiful light that brings calm and healing to all that it touches. Just feeling this light purify you as it surrounds you. Perhaps you can see this light too. Perhaps it has a color or several colors. Perhaps it has a texture. Perhaps it's a substance. Perhaps you can see or feel this light entering through the crown of your head, bringing healing energy into your mind, traveling gently down into your heart space, spreading out throughout your body to your fingertips, down to your toes. Just feeling this light radiate from within you, lighting up everything that it touches now. As you breathe in this light, begin to become aware of the timeline of light and energy that allows us to travel today. Perhaps each breath in of this light connects you to this timeline, allowing you to begin to integrate into this divine light, and allowing this divine light to carry you now to your peaceful place, however that makes sense to you in your mind now. Allow yourself to integrate into this light and begin traveling to your peaceful place. And see yourself arriving now at your peaceful place. Take the next several moments to feel yourself fully immerse into this space. What time of day is it in this peaceful place? Is there sunlight? Is there moonlight? experience the feeling of the ground beneath you. Take note of the feeling of the air, and if you are able, try taking in a deep breath of that air. Take note of the temperature, any sounds or smells that may be present. Just take in your environment as much as you can. And perhaps take a moment to find some place here in this peaceful place where you may feel comfortable taking a seat. And just allow yourself to be rejuvenated in this space for a moment. And in a moment, I will count down from 3 to 1, and we will integrate back into the timeline of light and energy. 3, feeling yourself begin to rise up. 2, rising even higher still. And 1, fully elevated above yourself now in the peaceful place. Just take a look down at yourself now in the peaceful place. See yourself now and consider what resources this self may need in this moment. It can be love, courage, patience, diligence, appreciation, encouragement, affection. Whatever you see that self need, just spend a moment sending it down to yourself. And then send yourself even more, just a little bit more. Just feel yourself receiving these resources. Just experience how this feels for you. And now turn your attention back to this divine timeline and feel yourself integrate into this light, fully integrating into this timeline of light and energy. And just allow yourself to intuitively follow it into the future. Arrive intuitively at yourself several months into the future, feeling strong, feeling transformed, feeling renewed, feeling confident. Consider now your payoff box and see yourself fully embodying new clarity and purpose. Spend a moment observing yourself doing and feeling well, feeling in control. What does your present self admire about your future self? If you feel comfortable and are able, go ahead and articulate this for yourself out loud. And in a moment, I will count us down from 3 to 1, and we will visit this future self. 3, floating downward. 2, lowering down to your future self. And 1, fully stepping into that future self. Spend a moment fully embodying that future self, feeling good and feeling supported. And Now take a moment to see your present self through the eyes of your future self. What does your future self appreciate about your present self? And once more, if you are able and comfortable to verbalize this out loud to yourself, do so. What does your future self appreciate about your present self? Allow yourself to receive this appreciation. Feel your future self and your present self working together now. I will count down from 3 to 1, and we will rise back up to the timeline. 3, present and future self working together now as we rise. 2, rising up even higher. And 1, arriving back at our timeline of divine light and energy. Take one more look down at yourself and consider 3 things you are proud of yourself for. And now allow yourself to reintegrate into the timeline. Now allow yourself to travel intuitively once again along this timeline, traveling now into the past. Recalling your change box, travel intuitively to a time in the past when an authentic idea or desire of yours was made to feel impractical, impossible, or too idealistic. Traveling instinctively to a time when part of you was made to feel too out there or against the grain. Arriving now at this time in the past and just spending a moment observing yourself. Consider what resources that past self may have needed. This time when an authentic part of ourselves was made to be conformed to fit in. When a wish of ours was made to feel impractical. Consider what resources that past self may have needed, and then send those resources down to yourself now. Feel that past self receiving those resources. Just experience what that feels like. I will count us down from 3 to 1, and we will visit this past self. 3, slowly approaching this past self. 2, gently descending to this self now. 1, fully stepping into this moment in the past. Now just take a moment to see your past self through the eyes of your present self. What does your present self appreciate about your past self? What does your present self appreciate about your past self? Feel yourself receiving this appreciation, and if you are able and comfortable, speak this out loud to yourself and feel yourself hearing it. what does this give you now? And how does it help you feel? Feel yourself integrating this experience now as we begin to travel back up to the timeline. 3, past, present, and future selves all collaborating now as we travel up. 2, rising even higher now. 1, fully returned and integrating back into our timeline of divine light and energy. And now just allow yourself to move through the timeline once more, back to the present moment, feeling these new resources. Are you ready to integrate this updated set of resources? When you've arrived, look down at yourself back in the peaceful place. I will count us down to reintegrate into ourselves, back into the peaceful place now. 3, lowering down into the present moment in the peaceful place. 2, feeling these new resources integrate over the next days and weeks. And 1, stepping back into yourself in the present moment in the peaceful place. And when you fully arrived at yourself in the peaceful place, spend a few final moments here for today, remembering that this place, this peace, and this restoration is available to you at all times. Take in your surroundings. Take a few more deep breaths of that air. And feel these resources continue integrating, knowing that new cells are being born every day to facilitate this healing and integration. In a moment, I will count us out of the peaceful place for today and out of today's trance, back into the present moment, into our bodies, and into the day ahead. 3, saying goodbye to the peaceful place for now. 2, traveling now to our present self. And 1, fully returned to our present self in the present moment. And just take a moment to process all of the traveling and the work that we've done today. Take a few deep breaths here. Send that breath back to your fingertips, down to your toes, into your heart space. Coming back into our bodies now. And when you feel ready, just allow your eyes to gently flutter open. And if you fell asleep, that is totally okay. And I hope it was a peaceful rest. That felt like a nice one. I hope that felt like a nice one for y'all too. How y'all feeling? Feeling good? Feeling relaxed? Thank y'all for being here. This is so awesome. I'm so pleased that this is a thing we get to do once a month, and I'm so happy that those of you returning have returned, and I'm so grateful for all newcomers here today. A reminder that I do this once a month before the new moon. Thank y'all. I'm so happy. This is like my joy. So really, like, I can't tell you like how meaningful it is that y'all come here and join me to do this, and that it's helpful and pleasant and meaningful. If this stuff is really interesting to you and you want more, I'm always available for one-on-one. I also just opened up past life regression, group past life regression. So if you're interested in exploring that realm of hypnosis, that link is in my bio, and the first one will be Thursday, nope, it's not January anymore. Wow. Thursday, the 18th of February. At 6 p.m. here on the West Coast. Emotional. That's it. Yeah, it can be surprising to go in there and to travel and to feel everything that comes up. My first hypnosis session, I definitely bawled, and I did not know that was going to happen. Thank y'all so much for being here. Yeah, if you want to come to past life, absolutely. Maybe I'll schedule some like earlier in the afternoon so that you over there I won't say across the pond, that's so corny. So that you can join us. But yeah, I would love to have y'all if you've ever been interested in exploring the beyond, and just seeing what comes up there. But I appreciate y'all so much for being here. If you feel called to donate today, my Venmo is the same handle, that's so Pisces, and anything and everything is appreciated. But as always, this is free. I share this with you, so your presence is a gift in itself, and thank you so much. Happy new moon, y'all. Make sure to make some really clear, positive, happy yet responsible wishes. Really lean into that Venus-Jupiter energy because it's cute as hell. Reach out with any questions or thoughts or feelings, because again, this is what I love, so I could talk about this for literally my whole life, and my third house Pisces stellium would be so pleased. Have a beautiful Saturday. I'm so glad that y'all are here. This is going to be up, so replay it whenever you want. Absolutely keep practicing. I'll also, at Jill's suggestion, I will post the questions that I asked of you today in the, whatever we call things. I'm like in hypnosis land, so I don't know what words are right now. In the post, I will post the questions in the post. All right, y'all. I love you so much. Thank you for being here. You make this worthwhile. So thank you. I love you. Happy weekend. Happy new moon. See you here again probably exactly a month from now, because it's February and it's exactly 28 days. So I'll see you on the 6th of March for the Pisces new moon. And see you in Astro Squad next week. You're the best. I love you.